Hi, I'm Gordon with the Workforce Centers of South Central Kansas, and I'm here to talk with you about the benefits of having a strong, positive attitude when it comes to getting and keeping a job. So, what do we mean when we say attitude determines altitude? Well, it's simple. The better your attitude, the better your life becomes, and the farther you can go. I love this picture. This little dog chasing a big rhinoceros. Now that's attitude. What this picture says is that the dog sees himself as big and tough and is not going to let something bigger and tougher get in his way. In other words, overcoming obstacles is all in a day's work for this little pooch. And it's that kind of spirit, persistence, and tenacity that has the rhino on the run. So let's talk about excellence. What is excellence, and just how do you measure it? As it says here, excellence is doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. That means you don't need to invent something new or overcome great obstacles in your path to achieve excellence. All you need to do is what you normally do, only do it well and put all your effort into it. There's another way to think about excellence, too. Excellence is also starting where the person before you left off. In other words, you take the work that someone who had your job before you, and then you carry on their work and make it better. And excellence is usually something measured by others, not you. If you give your job your complete effort, that excellence you bring to the job will show, and others will see it and recognize it. You may have heard of the Greek philosopher Aristotle. He lived about 2,300 years ago, and he wrote about many subjects, including philosophy, ethics, logic, and psychology. I love this quote by Aristotle: "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit." In other words, excellence is getting into the habit of doing things to the best of your ability, paying attention to the details, all the time. If you head over to the dictionary, you'll see that excellence is defined as the state of quality of excelling or being exceptionally good. That quote is very true. Excellence is being the best you can possibly be. Excellence is not a skill. It's not an ability to do something flawlessly over and over. Excellence is an attitude, and it's that attitude that helps you do something very well over and over. To put it another way, you must have the right attitude to achieve excellence, and that attitude is what helps you be successful. Let me give you an example. Steve Vai and his band have been recognized across the world as one of the top modern rock bands. Steve was voted one of the 10 greatest guitar players of all time by Guitar World magazine. He's won multiple Grammy Awards, owns his own record label, and is co-founder of the Make a Noise Foundation, which provides musical instruments and training for young musicians who can't afford their own instruments. Steve Vai talks about how to be successful in whatever you do.
Are we actually recording? Is the red light on? Is Buenos Aires going to enter into immortality?
There's three things usually that I find are most, the burning questions that most people have, young musicians, is, one is, how do I make it in this business? How do I make a record, get it out there, and, get people to hear it and become successful? I think the first thing is we need to identify with what it is that we really want. Because whatever it is you really want, that's what's going to come out. The thing that you're most comfortable with, that you do the best, because that's what you're going to do the best. Like me, I've got strengths and I've got weaknesses. I don't work on my weaknesses. I ignore them and I cultivate my strengths. The level of achievement that we have at anything is a reflection of how well we were able to focus on it. Because the only thing that's holding you back is the way you're thinking. pick a song in your head that you'd like to be able to play, something that's within your reach. Imagine right now that song. Picture yourself playing it. That's the first part of the exercise in achieving it. Now, as you're picturing yourself playing it, imagine what it sounds like perfectly. See and hear yourself playing it elegantly, beautifully, whether it's an aggressive metal track, whatever it is, but see yourself playing it from beginning to end perfectly with confidence. The more you're able to crystallize that vision, the more you're gonna become a self-fulfilled prophecy. Let's talk about practice, and let's talk about spending time to reach your goal. Because I know the complaint. We have obligations in life, we have responsibilities, we have so many other things we have to do. How do we find time to play the instrument? I recommend that you pick a time that's yours, a time where you shut off the cell phone, shut off the telephone, turn off the internet, and sit and focus on your goal. Whenever you get discouraged, go to the big picture. Go back to that place of excitement. That's how you get through it. You go to the big picture. You go to the chief aim. Because it's so crystallized in your head that when you feel like, I can't do this, you go back to that picture and you can see yourself doing it. You got to put the work in. It's no work. There's no work involved because it's all a joy. Because you know you're reaching your goal. You know what I'm saying? I never worked a day in my life in this business. I mean, with the guitar. I never struggled. Honestly, I've had a lot of challenges. I've had to, I've been through a lot. But when it came to my feelings about what I do, and my success, so to speak, never struggled a day in my life. Because for me, playing the guitar was my juice. So you break it down piece by piece by piece. And if it's a classical song, say, you go one bar at a time, then you go to the next bar, and you go to the next bar. Eventually, you'll be able to play through this piece of music. You won't play it great, but you'll be able to play through it. That's when you gotta stick at it, and keep playing it. Because at first, it's getting your fingers in shape, it's getting all that. But then, once you own this piece of music, then it flows. Then it's like this whole other thing comes over you. It's this ability to become the music.
The question then is, how do you achieve excellence? First, you start out by being passionate about excelling at what you do, having the attitude that you're going to do your best. That means you have to want to be excellent, and I mean you've got to seriously want to achieve excellence. Once you have that attitude going for you, you'll need to persevere, to commit yourself to being excellent in your work, and to finding ways to overcome any and all obstacles in your path. Once you get into the habit of persevering, your self-confidence will go up, and that will motivate you to be more confident that you can achieve your goals. Next, you'll need to plan what new projects you take on to improve yourself, and that leads you to starting the process all over again, the process of persevering to build your skills in those new projects, and so on. So what is passion? The dictionary defines passion as an intense, driving, or overpowering feeling or emotion. Passion is being driven. Passion means complete focus. Passion is feeling or knowing there's something out there that you should be doing. But don't take it from me. Take it from Steve Jobs, the man who founded Apple Computers.
People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard, and you have to do it over a sustained period of time. So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it and you don't really love it, you're going to give up. And that's what happens to most people, actually. If you really look at the ones that ended up being successful, unquote, in the eyes of society and the ones that didn't, oftentimes it's the ones that are successful loved what they did so they could persevere when it got really tough. And the ones that didn't love it quit because they're sane, right? Who would want to put up with this stuff if you don't love it? So it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of worrying constantly. And if you don't love it, you're going to fail. So you got to love it. You got to have passion.
We've talked about passion, how you feel strongly about achieving excellence. And that leads to perseverance, knocking down roadblocks when they come your way, getting back up when you're knocked down. Oprah Winfrey is another great example. She was repeatedly molested as a child, became pregnant by one of her molesters, and had a child at the age of 14. Yet she persevered. She finished high school as an honor student and went to college, became a TV news anchor in Nashville, and now has her own network, the OWN Network. Then there's Muhammad Ali. How many times do you think he was knocked down and then got back up again? Another example, baseball great Babe Ruth. He hit 714 home runs during his life as a major league player, yet he struck out 1,330 times. Now that's perseverance. Confidence is another part of a great attitude. But what is confidence? Confidence is believing in something. Confidence is believing in yourself. The best kind of confidence is when it's tempered with humility. Confidence is believing in yourself without trying to convince others how good you are. Self-confidence starts with a positive mindset. That in turn allows you to take risks, to do things outside your comfort zone. Self-confidence allows you to set and achieve your goals, which in turn strengthens your self-image, and all that leads to success. Every time you overcome your fear of something, you gain strength and confidence. Remember, no one can make you feel inferior or small without your consent, and be humble in your confidence, yet courageous in your character. So, working hard and having a good attitude is one thing. But if you want to improve your life, you must have a plan. Your plan is made up of many parts: your values, your environment, the things you need in life, the things you have going for you, those things that get in the way of your being successful, the goals you set for yourself, and the strategy you'll employ to achieve those goals. All of these things influence your plan. But if you have a plan to succeed in achieving your goals, you have a much greater chance of being successful. So, back to attitude. Attitude is how you think about yourself or something. Your attitude will impact your willingness to make changes, be flexible, and or how receptive you are to feedback. Think of it as skill versus will. We may not always start off being the most skilled in certain areas, but with coaching, most of us can improve our skills in various areas. However, if we're not willing, there is no amount of coaching that will do any good. We have to keep our minds open and always be willing to learn and grow. If our attitude is poor and we're not willing to aim for excellence, then our customer service will suffer too. Customer service requires a lot of problem solving. Generally, customers come with a situation or problem that they're trying to get resolved. Becoming a good problem solver is key to achieving excellence. Having a positive attitude, being willing to learn and grow, providing excellent customer service, being capable of solving problems, all of these things create value for yourself, and your employer and coworkers will find you to be a valuable team player. Later, we'll discuss other ways to also create value. You may have already thought of this, but here's a very important piece of information. Some of the most successful people in modern history weren't always successful at first. In fact, they failed miserably. Let's meet some of them.
Dismissed from drama school with a note that read, "Wasting her time. She's too shy to put her best foot forward." Turned down by the Decca Recording Company, who said, "We don't like their sound, and guitar music is on the way out." A failed soldier, farmer, and real estate agent. At 38 years old, he went to work for his father as a handyman. Cut from the high school basketball team, he went home, locked himself in his room, and cried. A teacher told him he was too stupid to learn anything, and he should go into a field where he might succeed by virtue of his pleasant personality. Fired from a newspaper because he lacked imagination and had no original ideas. His fiancée died. He failed in business twice. He had a nervous breakdown, and he was defeated in 8 elections. If you've never failed, you've never lived.
Willingness is having a positive attitude toward improvement, putting that feedback you've received into action, not being defensive or refusing to make changes. Rather, it's being willing to listen, willing to take the steps necessary for better outcomes, and doing it with a good attitude all at the same time. Are you willing to overcome obstacles, or are you quick to give up? Have you been proactive and thought about what you're willing to do to reach your goals if you hit a roadblock? Sometimes we have to be willing to change plans in the face of challenges. Are you willing to prove that you're dependable? In the work environment, not only is your boss counting on you, but so are your coworkers and your customers. Are you willing to behave responsibly and take responsibility as necessary? We are accountable for ourselves, and that includes our attitude and our actions. Sometimes we might make mistakes, but it's important to own up to them and take responsibility to make it right. All of the things we're talking about here, improving ourselves, overcoming obstacles, and becoming dependable and responsible, are what lead to good customer service. Here's a video about customer service. Watch closely. So, what is good customer service? Well, that's a big question with a lot of answers. For the person on the phone, the video is an example of excellent customer service. But for those people who came into the store, their level of customer service was pretty bad. To them, the clerk looked like he was on a personal phone call. They had no idea he was helping another customer. While we try to go above and beyond for our customers, we still need to consider how some requests for customer service impact the customer service of other customers. Here's the bottom line. We always need to exercise good judgment. Customer service? Yeah, it is a big deal. And a big part of customer service is how you handle complaints. Most customers won't complain if they're unhappy. They'll just leave. If they complain and they feel like you're really listening to them, like you're taking them seriously, that diffuses their anger. And if you show them you're willing to help solve their problem, you've just turned an angry customer into a loyal customer. Customer service is an attitude, not an action. Think about the words in the blue box, employees who can adjust themselves to the personality of the guest. Adjusting yourself to the personality of the customer is having the ability to reflect back to the customer their personality, letting them see themselves in you. And that can only be accomplished with a positive attitude. As an employee, you really can't adjust yourself unless you're confident about yourself and believe in yourself. When people complain about a service they've received, that means they're pretty unhappy. So what do? Well, try these steps as a solution. First, be positive when you greet them. Listen to them. Don't just hear what they say, listen to what they're saying. Empathize with them. Connect to their feelings. Then, if they're having a problem, focus on that problem and find a solution. Finally, make sure you follow up with them. That allows you to actually care about them and their business. What you pay for something is called its price. But your overall experience, not only what you bought, but the experience you had, is the real value of the item. You've probably heard the old phrase, you get what you pay for. That often means you get better quality if you pay more for something. But think of those words this way. You get better value if the quality of what you buy is better, and that quality includes how you treat the customer after he or she has left. Treating them well and following up with them means they got greater value. Value is often something tied to how much we think something or some person is worth. We connect the value of someone or something to its importance or how useful it is. Think about your own value. How important or useful are you to your own organization, to your peers and/or your customers? What do you really bring to the table? Do you bring a smile, a positive attitude, expertise in a certain area? What about flexibility or excellent customer service? What about fairness and effective communication? Being someone who's friendly, knowledgeable, dependable, fair, versatile, and a subject matter expert, all those things add value to your worth. We all want to keep good company, right? People we can trust, people who can help us when we're in a pinch. The same goes for your employers, your coworkers, and customers. The more you strive for excellence in being the best you can be, the more valuable you are.
I think we all need a pep talk. The world needs you to stop being boring. Yeah, you. Boring is easy. Everybody can be boring, but you're gooder than that. Life is not a game, people. Life isn't a cereal either. Well, it is a cereal. And if life is a game, aren't we on the same team? I mean, really, right? I'm on your team, be on my team. This is life, people. You got air coming through your nose. You got heartbeat. That means it's time to do something. A poem. Two roads diverged in the woods, and I took the road less traveled. It hurt, man! Really bad. Rocks, thorns, and glass. My pants broke. Wah! Not cool, Robert Frost. But what if there really were two paths? I want to be in the one that leads to awesome. It's like that dude Journey said, don't stop believing, unless your dream's stupid. Then you should get a better dream. I think that's how it goes. Get a better dream and keep going. Keep going, and keep going. What if Michael Jordan have quit? Well, he did quit. No, he retired. Yeah, he retired. But before that, in high school, what if he quit when he didn't make the team? He would have never made Space Jam. And I love Space Jam. What will be your Space Jam? What will you create will make the world awesome? Nothing if you keep sitting there. That's why I'm talking to you today. This is your time. This is my time. It's our time. We can make every day better for each other. If we're all on the same team, let's start acting like it. We got work to do. We can cry about it, or we can dance about it. We were made to be awesome. Let's get out there. I don't know everything. I'm just a kid. But I do know this. As everybody's doing, to give the world a reason to dance. So get to it. You've just been pep talked. Create something that will make the world awesome. Play ball.
So, to sum it all up, how far you go in your job, any job, and in life depends on your attitude. The better your attitude, the farther you'll go. That's why we say, attitude determines altitude. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/Wichita Workforce Center and on Facebook at facebook.com/Workforce Center.